Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to talk about teleprompting. I find it useful sometimes. Let me share with you a program I've written. Have you ever made a video with lots of narration and found that on playback there was some very important point you had missed? Either you had to remake the whole video or perform some messy editing. This is a situation where a teleprompter would come in very handy. Let's open a test script and see if we can run it. I've got a little test script here called demo. I'm going to open and I'm going to run that as a teleprompt. As you can see, it's very simple, just a string of text going across the screen. This local prompt is okay, but you can't really use it if you're doing full screen capture during your narration. I needed to think up an alternative solution. Well, this is what I came up with. This is my old Android gingerbread phone brought out of retirement. You can see the cheeky chappy perched on top of a basic camera tripod. I thought it would make sense to write a teleprompt app. Here is the scroller display of the app. The idea is that the phone can act as a teleprompt, remotely controlled via Bluetooth from my desktop PC or another Android phone. You can position the tripod where you want. As you can see, I've positioned it behind my laptop. Now let's have a look at the teleprompt and remote control Android apps in action. So I'm going to open up the teleprompt app. There we go. First thing I need to do is pair with my other Android phone, which is going to be the remote control. So I'm going to do that quickly, and let me see if I can find it in the list. Here we are. And so now we're paired up with the other Android phone. I now need to go into telescroller mode. You will see there are two menus there, one for telescroller and one for slideshow. These are different modes of actually teleprompting, but we're just going to concentrate on telescroller for today. So there we are. You see there's already a script loaded into the app, and I can start it locally. And I can pause it, I can start it again, and I can stop. But of course the whole object of the exercise is to be able to control this remotely, so we wouldn't normally use those controls on the phone itself. What I have to do before we run the other Android remote control, I have to switch on the teleprompt Bluetooth service so that this particular app running on this particular phone will be able to take the commands coming from the other Android phone. Although I have a remote control program running on the desktop in order to control the teleprompter, one of the problems is that you can't really use it if in fact you're doing some full screen capture on the desktop. So therefore I've developed another little app, a companion app to the teleprompter, which can act as a remote control. This is running on this particular mobile, which is a Galaxy S4 running on Android Lollipop. So let's run the remote control companion app. As you can see, if I scroll down a little bit, we've got nice big control buttons. These are the buttons we're going to use to control the teleprompter. In this particular case, for the case of a simple scroller, we have start, pause and stop. However, I can toggle the prompt mode into slideshow mode, and then I have the controls next, previous and reset. But today we're only going to be considering the scroller, so I go back to scroller and we see start, pause, stop. The only thing I need to do now is to pair up with the teleprompter, so let me choose the device, if I can get this working, and there it is, it's down there, Android. There we are, we've got Android. This is all ready and set up to control the teleprompt. So for the purposes of a demonstration, I've got the two Android apps beside each other. Let me see if I can just zoom in a little bit so we can see more clearly what's going on. And let me just zoom out a little bit. Down at the bottom, of course, you see the companion control app, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can start, and you can see immediately that the scroller begins to start. I can also pause, and that will pause the script for a while, and then whenever I want to continue, I just press the continue button, and there we go. If I need to stop, I just press stop, and there it is, it comes to rest at the beginning of the script. So let's start it again. So I just press start, and there it goes rolling. The speed of the scrolling is actually set by the desktop application, and the size of the text is also set by the desktop application, and they are set before the script is transmitted over to the teleprompt. And now let's stop. So let's open up our desktop application. Here we are again. I'm now going to go into remote prompt mode, and before I do anything with this control panel, I'm going to open the script that I'm looking for. So I'm going to open up a text file. There we are, script. This is the text file I'm going to open. This is a typical text file that's been easily kind of created in an application like Notepad. So let me open that, and I'm going to see if I can transmit that script over to the teleprompt. So what I have to do, I have to pair with the teleprompt, so I'm pairing with Android, and let me see if I can send that script over. And there you are, you can see the script on the teleprompt now. This is the introductory script for a little transmission program. Let's see if we can start it. I'm starting it from the remote control. If I do start here, hopefully we see the scroller moving, which is very good. I can stop it whenever I want, and hopefully it'll stop. Sometimes it's useful to be able to increase the font size depending on where you're located relative to the position of the teleprompt. So I'm just going to roll that again, and you can see we're rolling with a larger text size. I can stop that. Let's go back to the original font size, and there we are, back to the original. I can also make the speed of the scroll a little bit slower. As you can see, we're much slower at the moment, or if I need to, I can speed it up, and hopefully it will go speeding up here. Here it's racing quite a bit, but I think all we want to do at the moment is go back to the initial settings, which are quite reasonable for the moment. Now let's run a movie, camera and action. California, the land of sun, blue skies and beautiful beaches. Many people will be acquainted with the picture postcard places: San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge, the Powell and Hyde trolley going up and down all those hilly streets, Hollywood Boulevard, the iconic Capitol Records building, and of course the Walk of Fame. But let's look at a few places off the beaten track. First up, the city of Oakland, across the bay from San Francisco. Did you know that the harbour is home to the USS Potomac, the presidential yacht of Franklin Roosevelt, which was sometimes known as the Floating White House? Number 2, Silicon Valley and the garage of Hewlett and Packard, where the silicon chip revolution started. This unassuming garage is located in the suburb of Palo Alto. Further up the bay is the suburb of San Mateo, where YouTube started above this restaurant. Third up, Encinitas, north of San Diego. This small little town hosts regular car cruise events for the owners of Rods, Woodies and other classic cars. Look at this cute Model T Ford parked on the lay-by. Encinitas is also home to Swami's Beach, immortalised in the Beach Boys hit Surfing USA. It is named after the Indian Swami Paramahansa Yogananda, who lived in the hermitage on top of the cliff overlooking the beach. Next up, the Venice Beach canals. This area was originally marshland and the canals used for draining the area. It is difficult to believe that this little residential paradise is only a few kilometres north of Los Angeles International Airport. And finally, one could not end without enjoying a beautiful Californian sunset. Until next time, goodbye.